Welcome back, everybody. In this video, we'll be discussing 5 or more essential mountain bike tools that you need to have for basic maintenance. Let's get into it. Alright, number 1. This is probably the most basic of tools. It's not really a tool, actually. It's just this little clean towel or rag you can use to keep your mountain bike all fresh and clean after you wash it. Just wipe it down. Just something to wipe your bike down with. Because everyone knows your bike is your pride and joy. And you want to keep it clean and spiffy looking all the time. Alright, just like a dish towel or some clean rag to use. Number 2 is some sort of chain lube or grease that you can put on your bike just to keep that chain running crisp and clean. I hear so many squeaky chains out there, it drives me crazy. People not looking after their bikes, folks. That's bad. You need to look after your bike. It's your pride and joy. Just squirt some of this onto the chain, maybe for freewheel it backwards for maybe 5 seconds, then wipe off the excess lube. Some sort of lube like Rock and Roll Gold or something like that is going to work really well. This actually cleans and lubes in one step, so definitely get some sort of lube or something for your chain, because you do not want to have a squeaky chain. Wear it out your bike quickly. While we're on the topic of chains, you're going to want to have a chain checker, because even if you've been lubing your chain constantly, it's going to wear out. There's just nothing you can do about that, and you're going to have to replace it from time to time. So, get yourself a chain checker like this. You can see these 2 little pins here. Just put them into your chain like that. Then there's this gauge here. You're going to move that until it can't move any farther. And then if it reads 0.50 to 1 millimeter, you're going to need to replace that chain. That means that chain is stretched out and it'll start wearing out your cogs and gear set. While we're still on the topic of chains, even if you've been lubing it and checking your chain for stretch, you're going to break a chain from time to time. And these handy little tools right here will help installing and taking away that master link a lot easier. So we got these from Pedro's. They're around $5. Just make that a little bit easier. Just kind of insert these into your chain like this. Master link's there. Squeeze down. Basically, they take the master link and squeeze it in, which causes the clamps on either side of the chain link to undo themselves and fall out, thus quickly and easily removing your chain. Not breaking anything, just taking the quick links apart. Alright, moving away from the topics of chains and moving on to something else. Now, I know most of you run tubeless, and that's okay. Some of you don't, most of you do, but this works for everybody. So get this, you get tubeless sealant that you just put it into your tire when you install it, or with a valve core remover, and then it basically is a synthetic sealant that seals the tire out from any small punctures like cactuses or twigs that could get in there and otherwise cause a leak. It also works with inner tubes, so just stick some of this stuff in your tires, folks, and virtually eliminates flats. This is a must-have. Just get any kind of tubeless sealant, whether that's Stan's, PT's, Continental. They're all about the same slime. Now, while we're on the topic of tires, you're gonna need, if your tire is already on, and for those of you who have tubeless, you don't really want to take it off the bead and get into that mess, one of these little valve core removers is going to do the trick for you. This one's got Schrader and Presta. So basically, just take this in like this, turn it counterclockwise. That'll pull your valve core out. Then you can just take the sealant, take the lid off, just dump about 60 milliliters into your tire. just remove your valve core, this little guy, which is basically, you've got your valve, and the valve core is the little internal thing that basically acts as a plug to stop the air from coming out. So you take this little guy in here, stick him in, he unscrews the valve core, hold on to the valve core, inject sealant in, and then screw the valve core back in. You don't even need to take the tire off the bead. How handy is that? Also, these little guys are available at bike shops for usually under $1, maybe 99 cents, 50 cents. Alright, we're moving up in the price range. Most of you guys have air shocks, some of you don't, that's okay, because you're not going to need this tool here. Alright, this is basically a shock pump. So what it does is you take off your lockout screw or your volume spacer where you would usually go to put your volume spacers in, and then you just screw this guy on. There should be a little nipple there, and you screw this guy on so that you connect it, and then you just pump your shock up to your desired pressure if you have an air shock. If you don't have an air shock, you're going to be using a coil shock, which basically just turn the preload collar left to right to increase the stiffness or decrease the stiffness. But this is a very essential tool for those of you riders who have air shocks and want to adjust that pressure. 7 relatively cheap, under $50 mountain bike tools that you must have for basic maintenance, customizing your ride to your desired suspension setting, whether that's soft or firm, sealant, keeping your tires leak free and full of air, and keeping your bike maintained, which is always good. Hope this helped with your guys' maintenance needs, and I will see you in the next video.